stage kiss. I figured it couldn't be that much different. Well, it obviously was, I say, trying and failing to disguise the hurt in my voice. Gabe would always belong to Travis first, in the same way that Maisie would always be mine, but Maisie was a year older and already well into her semester at the University of North Texas. The four of us had been friends since our bikes had 4 wheels instead of 2, and even though his loyalty would belong to Travis before anyone else, it still stung to know that Gabe, sweet, reliable, chronically funny next-door neighbor Gabe, had known about Travis's transgressions and kept me in the dark this whole time. And now with Maisie gone, Travis turning out to be a cheating dirtbag and Gabe covering for him, I had no one. Tears began to well up as my chest tightened with a new kind of pain. "Oh, Pipe, don't cry." He pulled himself up and ungracefully slithered through my window. There was a 50-50 chance my dads would hear and come crashing through my door to defend me from an intruder. I couldn't help but laugh at the sight of him there on my floor, but it came out like a sob. "What are you doing? We have school in like 3 hours. You're the one who started it by throwing rocks or nuts or something at my window." "Beads. They were friendship bracelet beads. And don't worry, I'll pick them up before Ziggy eats them," I told him, referring to his mom's Pomeranian as he stood up. He took a step closer and pulled me against his chest for the kind of hug that felt like a good wringing out. Like Gabe's whole body was a sponge, and he was soaking up all the pain and all the heartbreak. "I'm so sorry," he said, his voice raspy and muffled against my hair. "Good," I said with a pout before taking a step back so I could look him right in the eyes. "Good, because you owe me." Suspicion passed over his face like a cloud. Just like I knew Gabe couldn't tell a lie, he knew I held on to a grudge like it was a life raft. "What are you talking about?" "You know what I'm talking about. You let me go to all those bye-bye birdie rehearsals like a total fool. I'm literally Carolyn's dresser. I have to help the girl my ex-boyfriend of 3 years cheated on me with in and out of her costume so she can just go on stage and kiss him all over again." Gabe winced. "Travis does make a good Albert Peterson." Travis had explained to both of us several times during the lead-up to auditions that Conrad Birdie wasn't actually the best role in Bye Bye Birdie. Why name the whole musical after a character that's not even the star of the show? "Could we just stop treating Travis like a god for a freaking minute?" I asked. "Yes, he makes a great Albert What's-His-Face, because he's good at everything, including sneaking around, but not good enough to not get caught and humiliate me in front of the whole school, and you weren't good enough to at least warn me." He exhaled heavily. Okay. What do you want me to do?" "Easy. Be my boyfriend," I said simply. I didn't actually know if revenge was one of the stages of grief, but it only took me a few days of tears before I decided I wanted to get back at Travis, and I wanted to make it hurt. Gabe's cheeks turned a bright shade of red as he wiped the back of his hand over his brows, and it was very clear that just the thought of seeing me as a romantic interest made him terribly uncomfortable. It was a real confidence boost to see one of my oldest friends find me so deeply disgusting. What? What do you mean?" "Not my real boyfriend," I clarified as I took a step closer, peering up at him. "Just my fake boyfriend. For a few days." "A, this is an awful idea. B, can this at least wait until next week when Bye Bye Birdie is done?" "No," I tell him. "In fact, that's exactly why it can't wait. So, what do you say, Gabe? Will you be my boyfriend?"
Gabe. According to Piper, boyfriends picked their girlfriends up for school. I knew that wasn't entirely true, because Travis only had his mom's Suburban on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but Piper made it clear that our arrangement was very much about appearances. I shouldn't have said yes to begin with, but it turns out it's impossible to say no to the girl you've loved since first grade. I guess it probably seemed like my whole life up until this point must have been torture. My best friend dating the love of my life for so long that they were practically married in high school years, but I knew early on that Piper